Today on Judge Mom.
Your boyfriend conned you into leaving your marriage.
This man ruined my life.
I was in this relationship for love. Miss Murphy is nothing but a gold digger.
He is a pathological liar. Once he didn't have the cars anymore, he would say, oh, they're in maintenance. There all these lies.
So the cars never came back?
No, because they were repossessed, but I had to dig.
Repossessed is a strong word. Because I got divorced, I basically walked out with nothing.
Why?
So, because I had an ironclad prenup.
You think he conned you. All the while, none of this is your money.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Sandy presiding. Your Honor, this case is Murphy versus Long.
Thank you, Bailiff Delgado. Miss Murphy, you say you're suing your boyfriend, or looks like could be a former boyfriend, because he conned you into leaving your marriage, and you state that all he did was give you false promises, he lied to you, he was deceptive, and you're suing him. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, Mr. Long, it's your position that she's a gold digger, she's broken your heart, and you owe her nothing. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Murphy, exactly what brings you into court today?
Your Honor, I am suing Mr. Long for fraud, loss of income, and serious emotional distress. I want $500,000 because this man ruined my life.
$500,000. That's
Might as well have been $5 million.
That's a lot of damages. She could have asked for $5 million, but I'm not sure I'd give them to her. Can you explain to me, Mr. Long,
Your
why
Honor,
you think you're here?
Yeah, I do not owe Miss Murphy anything. I was in this relationship for love. She made assumptions. Miss Murphy is nothing but a gold digger.
How low?
Mr. Long, let's try not to call her a gold digger. Let's wait to see the evidence. Miss Murphy, what do you have to say for yourself?
So he is a pathological liar. And since I've been called something, I guess we can call him.
No, we don't call each other names. I know
Okay.
this is Judge Mom, but I am not allowing you to act like children in my courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor. This man lied to me. He knew what he was doing. He planned to get to me, and he made it happen. He's an experienced man, as you can see.
Well, there's clearly an age difference.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Age the number, Your Honor.
Tell me how you guys met. I'm sure this is the pretty part of the story, right, Bailiff Delgado? Let us enjoy the first 5 minutes of pleasantries.
yes, Your Honor. We met at a cafe that I was working at, and Dexter was one of my customers. He was coming in every day, and he was very charming. He was really funny. He was always a good time.
See, you can say nice things about him. That's so nice to hear, isn't it, Mr. Long?
It is. It is.
Good.
And with all due respect, I really thought we could be friends.
Okay, we're getting off to a good start,
We were
kids.
not friends off the bat. He pursued me from the first moment. He was coming in with nice dresses, parking outside his nice cars just for me to see. He was clearly paying a lot of attention to me. I know when a man pays attention to you, and he was definitely on a mission to get to me. I was married, so I always saw him as a customer. I wasn't involved romantically. I did appreciate his gestures, because
Give me a second. Were you on a mission?
Well, Your Honor, it all started because she's a barista at this coffee shop, like she mentioned. And I would come in, and she'd wink at me and throw her hair around and kind of just make little...
She was
Come on.
flirtatious?
Of course. But,
So you never crossed the boundaries?
no.
you
Like she's
definitely
wanting
did.
us
You were
to
not
believe.
acting like every other regular customers. Well, of course I was being nice to you
Mr.
because
Long,
you're my customer.
Were you married by any chance?
I was married, Your Honor.
Which I didn't know. I did not know that.
Wear a ring?
No.
Well, we're going to get there in a moment. We're going to find out about this. Go on.
Your Honor, he was clearly pursuing me, and I can show you how, and I'm sure as a woman you will understand. On my birthday, this man showed up with a big bouquet of flowers. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody noticed. And I know I was a married woman, so obviously I couldn't enjoy it to
Were
the
you
fullest, but I
uncomfortable?
was surprised. I was a little uncomfortable at the beginning. Yes,
Okay,
of
but
course.
if you're uncomfortable and you get flowers from somebody that you don't want to receive flowers from because you're married, don't you say, I'm sorry, I can't accept them?
I should have said that, Your Honor.
Should have,
but-
could have, would have. You sound like my children.
And that wasn't the only thing. We're not talking just about flowers.
Okay,
He
what else
brought
are we
me lunch
talking
one
about?
day. So one day I forget lunch, and he finds out. I think I didn't even tell him, through my colleague, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes all out of his way to come back and bring me lunch. And
That's a nice gesture. I mean, it doesn't mean he wants to have a romantic relationship with you. He's just bringing
absolutely,
you
Your
lunch.
Honor, but you have to understand that this went on and on. It was over a period of
Were
time.
you purposely forgetting your lunch?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't.
So what else did he do?
So he did all these nice gestures, and I started thinking, oh my, it started getting to me. I started thinking, this man is like so into me. He really cares about me. And I felt, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like this is how I want to be treated.
All
And
the
that's,
while you have a husband.
but this is just the truth. This is what happened. He
Okay.
finally asked me out, and after all these things that he's been doing, then I said yes, and I regret it. I understand it was a mistake, but I was overwhelmed by my feelings, and I did not know he was married as well.
Mr.
Honor,
Law,
she knew what she was doing.
she's a young girl. You
Yes.
seem to be a couple of years her senior. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But with age comes knowledge. And obviously, she was a lot younger.
Well, with all due respect, Your Honor, I really enjoyed our friendship. I would do little things like get her small gifts. I would even joke around about my name with her. We had little inside jokes. It was like a regular flirtatious relationship. She was like my coffee shop wife.
Let me tell you something. If my husband came home and told me he had a coffee shop wife, we'd probably be in divorce court. You don't do that. You're a married man. You don't have friends at the coffee shop who are 23 and beautiful. It's not something you do.
It didn't start that way, Your Honor. Like I said, this developed over time. Well, let me explain. As this relationship progressed, I did catch feelings for her. She's young, she's beautiful. Like I said, we had a very dynamic chemistry. And as it developed, I wanted to do the nice things for her. So I found out through a friend it was her birthday. So of course, I bought her this beautiful bouquet of flowers. And then I actually started really getting feelings for her, so I asked her out to lunch.
Okay, and when did this start falling apart?
We went on spa vacation. He would take me anywhere. He showed me the highest life. And he had all these beautiful cars, and like he was always dressed nicely. He did everything he could to conquer me through his
To
lifestyle.
conquer you or to con you?
Introducing Mistakes by Nosey, the mobile gaming story app that puts you in control of your own thrilling adventure. With Mistakes by Nosey, immerse yourself in a world of thrilling choices and captivating stories. With hundreds of paths to choose from and new stories added regularly, you'll always have new mistakes to make. Download Mistakes by Nosey and play anytime, anywhere. Mistakes by Nosey, where every choice matters. Search Mistakes by Nosey in the Android and Apple app stores. Download Mistakes by Nosey now.
And then I actually started really getting feelings for her, so I asked her out to lunch.
Okay, and when did this start falling apart? Because obviously you maintained a relationship, there was flowers, there was lunch, there was
After that, there was
things
way
being
more, Your Honor.
exchanged.
There was way more. Once the affair started, there was way more than that. We went on spa vacation. He would take me anywhere. He showed me the highest life. And he had all these beautiful cars, and like he was always dressed nicely. He did everything he could to conquer me through
To
his
conquer
lifestyle.
you or to con you?
Both. That's the word I would say, because I think
didn't con
that's
you. I
exactly
didn't
what
con
he
you.
was thinking.
I make that
You did.
determination, Mr.
Sorry,
Long,
Your Honor.
not you.
I brought something to show you how big of a liar he is, because the difference between
But tell me how. I'm unclear. I don't even want to
Absolutely. I'll
see
get
the
to-
evidence until
absolutely.
you explain to me what I'm going to look at and
I'll
how
get
this
to
is
the
going to
point.
prove to me that he conned you.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, we went on this beautiful spa vacation. Then he thought about telling me, once I was too involved to step out of it, that he was actually married. But we were already, at that point, our marriages didn't make sense anymore.
And you
we-
were still married.
I was, and it was really hard for me. A part of me really wanted to make it work with my husband, but the other part was so involved in this.
Yeah, you're going on spa
That-
vacations. I promise
And I'll
you, if
tell you-
he's whining and dining you and going on spa vacations, you're not going to be able to work it out with your husband. Taking your girlfriend on vacations, spoiling her. I never
Correct.
You're a
So I never
gentleman,
conned
and I
her.
applaud
It was
you.
never a con. It was always for
But I
real.
need to
And whatever
determine-
pictures she's going to show you, that's the truth. I did it. I spent the money on her.
I am telling you I appreciate you're a gentleman, and I need to make the determination if you walk the line between being a gentleman and con artist. It's a very widespread, so let me make that determination.
That was a very deliberate con.
Okay.
He is a pathological
Let's
liar.
take a look
He
at the
omitted
evidence.
a lot of things from me.
Okay, Ms. Murphy, what is the first piece of evidence that I am going to look at?
You're gonna look at a spa resort that he took me to, a very luxurious one.
Okay, let's take a look.
Like
Wow,
this is
that's
the kind
pretty
of life that
nice.
he was
Yeah,
showing
that was
me.
in Playa del Carmen. Yeah, we had a great time.
That's really a beautiful place.
It was a great trip, Your Honor.
So what else do you have for me, Miss Murphy? All I'm seeing is a gorgeous vacation spot. That doesn't show me that Mr. Longhair was conning
Absolutely.
you.
Why don't you look at the cars that he used to drive? And he
Okay,
would pick me
let's
up with those
take a-
cars. He would
take a
let
look
me
at the
drive them at any
cars.
time. Like we're talking
Those are
about
very nice
wealth.
cars.
Yeah.
We're
My
talking about a
Bentley,
certain lifestyle.
Mercedes.
Delgado
Martin.
birthday present? Take a look at the middle one. If you can't afford it, call the husband. Lovely, beautiful cars. Okay, all I'm seeing is a very luxurious lifestyle so far.
Absolutely, Your Honor. But when you go so far as taking me to an apartment, a luxurious apartment, fully furnished, and you look at me and you say, hey, we're in this together now. We
That's right.
have to
We are
leave
in this
our...
together.
Let me
Correct.
speak. We're in this together now. This is going to be for us. This is a man telling you, I have a plan for us. This is how I'm going to take care
Okay,
of
so
you.
he made you a promise to take care of you.
Absolutely, yes.
And I did.
And in a certain
Every
way.
day. But,
Okay.
but it wasn't ever enough. It was always about the money.
You're portraying yourself as a very successful man, and that is
And I
my
am.
choice.
Morris, but
if I
that
want to
doesn't give
date.
you the right to be asking for things. Just because a man wants to give you
Well,
a
as long
present
as he
doesn't
lets
mean
me
you
ask
start
you.
demanding presents.
That's right.
I was not demanding presents,
You should
I
be
was
able to
given
get
presents,
the
Your
things that
Honor.
you want to get, and if he wants to give them to you, he can do that.
He
but
was
not
giving them
demand
to me. He
Correct.
was giving them to me.
That's when she took it too far.
What did she take too far?
The apartment. So I
Talk
said.
to me about this apartment.
So I got us
Describe
an
it.
apartment, and I said, sweetheart, and it was a beautiful apartment. It's in Brickell. It was 7,000 square feet overlooking the bay. I mean, it was spectacular. Top floor penthouse to the nines, okay? And because I got divorced, I basically walked out with nothing.
Why?
So, because I had an ironclad prenup. And
you
the
got a
prenup
smart one
said
the first
if I
round.
ended up leaving, that I would get nothing. So I had to downsize the apartment.
Wait, you think he conned you, right?
Yes.
All the while, none of this is your money, is it?
Well, it was money that I worked for in my wife's business. And
It's
obviously,
according to the prenup and the legality of the prenup,
Right.
that is her money that you enjoyed. But that is not your money. Let's be clear.
well, it was money that I made in the business. And obviously, because of the prenup, I got nothing.
Okay.
So we had to downsize the apartment.
To a
And
one bedroom, a
All right.
small
Well,
one bedroom.
Again, not your money. Let's move on. What else happened? How else was he conning
is
you?
the thing. This is how it happened. So the apartment was the first red flag because after not even a year of leaving that, he comes to me and he says, well, you know, the lease is up. We have to move somewhere else. And I'm like, what do you mean the lease is up? Because he never even told me that he was leasing the apartment, that he was renting. I thought it was his.
Again, her
When you
assumption.
tell
Miss
me-
Murphy, did you
assumptions.
ask questions? I know you're young, but
I
you seem to
know.
be a
I
very
was
bright,
naive,
eloquent young lady. So did you not ask questions? I mean, ignorance is
guarantee you,
not an
Your Honor, he made
excuse
me believe
under
that.
the law, and I'm tired of telling everybody. You can't stand here and say, oh, I didn't know. Well, why didn't you ask?
And I said, you know what? Let me reach out to Jordan, which is Evelyn's ex-husband.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
That's correct, Your Honor. So I called Jordan Murphy, the ex-husband of Evelyn Murphy, to the stand.
I'm here to prove to the court that this isn't the first time Evelyn Murphy has done something like this.
Cannot.
The plot thickens.
You are the five. Get off my stage.
You can't stand here and say, oh, I didn't know. Well, why didn't you ask? Do you have a picture of this new apartment? I want to see it.
Yes, please.
Okay. Did you bring it in for me to look at?
Yes.
Let's take a look at it. Oof. All right.
See, it's a beautiful apartment, had all the amenities, doorman.
Yeah, why would you
parking,
go for that one
Sergio-
if then you can't even, you knew about your
Well,
wife. I
you
didn't
know
know.
divorces are expensive.
Your Honor, I didn't know
Well,
his
one thing
money
is
was his
divorces
wife's
are expensive,
money.
and another thing is knowing outright that you're walking away with nothing.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
And he
situation,
was lying
Mr. Long.
again because let me tell you, once he didn't have the cars anymore, he would say, "Oh, they're in maintenance." There all these lies. He
So the
wouldn't
cars
even
never came back.
No, because they were repossessed. But I had to dig.
Repossessed is a strong word. I had
That's
to
what
negotiate the lease
happened.
agreements because once
Oh,
again I couldn't
Dexter,
keep
oh
up with the
my
Bentley
God.
payment and the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. And you
Mr.
drove those
Long.
cars. Did you
Mr.
ever offer to pay for any of them? No.
Why would I
All
have
you
to
wanted to
pay
do is
for
just stay
any
on
of
the gravy
that?
train.
You
Mr.
should have said
Long,
it
let me
before.
tell you something. Order in my court. Why didn't you come clean? If this was the person you wanted to be with, you've already been through a bad relationship that ended poorly. You've come out of this past marriage with nothing. I'm sure you felt pretty bad about that, right?
I did.
So why weren't you honest
And that's
with
why I
her?
was looking for love. I thought Evelyn was different. I
Looking
really put my
for
heart
love?
and soul into our relationship. I tried to give her the best things
Love,
in life.
how
But wait,
can
wait,
people
Miss
love you?
1 minute. Why are you giving her this illusion? Just say, honey, you know what? We're poor. We can't afford it.
Well, I thought you'd leave.
Isn't that a lot easier?
No, I thought you'd leave. And, I realized once again that all she
So
was
then you're
about was the money.
questioning why
It was-
she's with you.
I thought she loved me. I really did. She made me feel like a man.
She loved
made
you
me feel
and
good.
your money.
Well, I thought she loved me.
I loved you. I loved
But
the
she really loved the fine
experiences
things like
that you gave
and I would
me.
try to give you the best things ever.
Yes, you tried to give her the best
the
things
best thing ever
ever,
is
but
not
you
a
were not
lie.
honest.
And that's why I started worrying. I mean, I was devastated. So I started thinking about, the past, and I said, you know what? Let me reach out to Jordan, which is Evelyn's ex-husband. And he actually started talking to me. So,
Oh, so you reached out to the ex-husband.
correct.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
That's correct, Your Honor. I was scrambling, and I needed to find out a little bit more about Evelyn, and the best person to go to would be her ex-husband, Jordan Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Long, and you're going to need it because you're not looking really good right now. Let's call your witness.
So I called Jordan Murphy, the ex-husband of Evelyn Murphy, to the stand.
Mr. Murphy, please come to the stand. Can you please state your full name and tell us your relationship to the
Jordan,
plaintiff?
what are you doing here?
Ma'am,
He's
a
helping
witness.
me, because you are not a good person.
My name is Jordan Murphy, and I'm Evelyn Murphy's ex-husband. I'm here to prove to the court that this isn't the first time Evelyn Murphy has done something like this.
I cannot
That's
believe
right.
it.
Miss Murphy.
The way she's left me, she's left
Your
her
Honor,
past
I
And
boyfriends
so,
and current
Bailiff
boyfriends.
Delgado, the plot thickens.
So when we first started dating, Evelyn joked about just dating men for free dinners.
For money.
For money,
That's
exactly.
what
he-
yeah, and I
let's
thought it
be
was
very
just a
frank
joke. I didn't think
What are you
anything of it.
doing
It was,
here?
it was the first red flag.
Miss
Red
Murphy,
flag, that was a joke. Get a sense
she's
of
a-
humor.
order in
Evelyn,
my
you're
court,
an
Miss Murphy,
opportunist,
get
okay,
over it.
Evelyn?
He's
You're an
here, he's a
opportunist.
witness. So let me hear what he has to say, and don't interrupt him. You can't believe he's here? Well, he is. So now let's listen to him. Thank you, sir. Go on.
So, Your Honor, when we first started dating, everything was great. And then as soon as I mentioned that I was starting a business, started opening a restaurant, she all of a sudden said, I'm leaving my boyfriend. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. I was in love with her. I thought we could build something together, build a future. She could help me with my restaurant. And I really thought that she was there for me. And
She was supportive.
she was
was there
supportive,
for you.
exactly. And
Okay.
then she left me. She just left me out to dry, to be on alone, working at the restaurant to survive on my own.
I
And
apologize.
You left. Apologize for what? You
apologize
left
to you.
me. You left me. You racked up credit card bills that I
Mr.
couldn't even afford to
Murphy.
pay. You understand what you did to me?
Mr.
So
Murphy,
unfair.
I'm going to
It's
end up
disgusting.
removing all of you one by one if you don't stop.
So as I was saying, she was racking up credit card bills that I couldn't afford to pay. And then she left me.
Got it. This is not about your marriage. You went to divorce court. You figured it out. Let's move on. How
Yeah.
are you here to help Mr. Long? Is there anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Murphy?
What does that
Yeah,
have
she
to do
told
with
me-
all this?
Quiet. I already told you. I don't believe you. You're not credible. You're not pleasant.
You're so
a
wrong.
liar. And don't tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Learn to ask the right questions. Learn to care and love yourself first.
What if nobody told you that?
Delgado, get her out of here, please. This is not about your marriage. You went to divorce court. You figured it out. Let's move on. How
Yeah.
are you here to help Mr. Long?
Well, a couple of weeks ago,
That Jordan, don't you dare. Jordan,
Miss
I'm sorry.
Murphy,
Jordan,
quiet.
don't. Jordan, don't you dare.
Delgado, get her out of here, please. Miss Murphy, you're excused. You're excused.
I'm sorry, Your Honor,
You're
but this is very
excused.
personal.
You're
This
excused.
is very, very personal.
A couple of weeks ago, she contacted me, and I was still in love with her. And she had told me that Dexter had scammed her. She was crying, and I felt for her. I offered her some wine, and I was open to her.
You were open to sleeping with her again.
Okay, Your Honor.
So, yeah.
Yes, I was.
You were
open to
sleeping with her. All
We
right.
were
So,
sleeping
you know
together.
what? I'm sorry to do this to you, Bailiff Delgado, but now I need Miss Murphy back in here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we were sleeping
Miss
together.
Murphy, you know why I'm letting you back in here? Not because I think you're credible, not because I think you're pleasant, because you're a liar. And I want to call you a liar to your face. You started sleeping with your ex-husband again. Is there anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Murphy?
What does that
Yeah,
have
she
to do
told
with
me
all
that.
this?
Quiet. I already told you. I don't believe you. You're not credible. You're not pleasant.
You're so
a
wrong.
liar. And don't tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Go on, Mr. Murphy.
As I was saying, she called me 2 weeks ago and told me she was pregnant.
What?
And I don't know if it's my
Delgado?
child,
Slut!
if it's Dexter's
You're
child.
pregnant with his? Or is it mine?
Mr. Long, Mr. Long, Mr. Long, get back in your
100% custody of that
face.
kid. That kid is mine.
Mr. Long, we're not here to determine.
This is insanity.
We're not here to make that determination. I'm here to give you a verdict on your case. I think this verdict is not going to come as a surprise to you. You get nothing. You get nothing for being a liar. You get nothing for being a cheater. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
Your Honor, I just don't want this to happen to anybody else. That's really why.
Your Honor,
I don't
these
want it.
men come for young girls and they do all these promises and there's never a punishment for that.
Ask
we get
the
punished.
right questions. Learn to ask the right questions. Learn to care and love yourself first.
What if nobody told you that?
Miss Murphy, I'm sure you have a mother who raised you right and who explained to you the ways of the world and opened your eyes to the good and to the bad. As mothers, we do that for all of our children. So don't come sit here now and pretend to be poor little me. You're not. You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted his money, and when you couldn't get it and you found out that there was nowhere else to go, you bounced right back into the bed of your ex-husband. Now you've affected not only your life, because you know what, in these cases, if people only affected their lives, that would be one thing. But now you've gone on to affect 1, 2, 3 lives. That's shameful, as well as your unborn child. So let's go again. You get 0 money for your behavior, and then on top of that, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna order you to take DNA testing because you've ruined the lives of multiple people in this room, including your own and that of your unborn child. So I need you to go down and do some DNA testing with these 2 gentlemen. I am going to order the 3 of you to immediately take DNA testing through our partners at DNA Diagnostic Centers. I will see you back in 8 months for the results. This case has not concluded. We will do so at that time. This court has ruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.